Hello everyone, it's Maxim Baker and I'm here today to show you an application that I made for the Challenge 2025. So let's go right into it. So it's an application for HR that needs to send a request for employees to fill out to check if they have any criminal records. The application will send a form to the filler and then that filler will need to fill that form and then it's going to send back a notification to the HR whether it has or not criminal records. It's gonna be sent out to a lawyer firm that needs to check if there's actual criminal records for that person. Then it's going to confirm and send it back to the HR so the HR can check if there's something that you can do about it. Let's do a little demo right here. So I'm logged in with my main account. We arrive here in the request page. So we're gonna ask someone to fill out a form. So I'm gonna use my Gmail account for that. So we see here that there's a message that will be pre-built and will be sent, but you can also add custom message here. Then you need to click on send the request. It's gonna do some things. It's going to syncing, creating the account automatically, going to send all the needed notification, and then it's gonna show that the request has been sent. So this is what the email would look like. And I have the button to open the form. I'm gonna use that link and open incognito window and log in with that account. All right, so we come right into the form. I'm just gonna fill out that form quickly. Here you can see that there's a checkbox that we can check to show or not the previous address. And if I'm typing something here, there is, I'm gonna show you that later, but there is AI components that reset the field. As you can see, if that checkbox is updated, the field here will be resetted. Here I can submit. It's gonna do some tricky stuff, and it's actually calling a webhook to do all of that stuff in the backend. Okay, so as you can see, it says that the declaration has been submitted. So we're gonna receive an email right here that I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna delete that. And as you can see, if I refresh the page, I won't be able to access the page because the account has been disabled. So the HR will also receive an email to say, okay, someone has deposit a submission, so you need to check that. Okay, I know what I forgot. Is that every HR has its own group of categories that they can have. So I will need to add a category here for me. So let's do all of them actually to be able to see them. All right, here I have declaration to verify as an HR. I'm gonna go here. So as you can see, I have all the information I need to check the employee identity. And then if something's wrong, like the phone number isn't right, you can say it right here, is not right. You click on verify, it's gonna be sent to the lawyer firm. Now there's a lot of email that will be sent. The actual lawyer firm to say, okay, you have a declaration to verify, to validate. So we have a button here to open it. So they're gonna see that screen. You click on that and they can quickly see what has been declared. Here's a PDF made with PDF Monkey, so they can see all the information. Here is the comments from the HR, and here they need to deposit a file. It's gonna be renamed automatically with a specific format. You can add some notes, and they click whether there is an actual criminal records or not after validation, and then they deposit. At that moment, it's no longer going to be available to the lawyer. With row owners, it has been changed to go back to the HR. So I'm now able to see archive. I see the declaration here. So now you can see that here's the declaration of the employee, and under it is the report made by the lawyer firm. The email sent is the same. It's all notification. I'm not going to go through all of them. But as you can see here, you can see all the pending requests and the status of them. So let's go into the builder right now. Let's now see how the backends work. So the users table is automatically updated with the workflows. Here's the helper table for the filling requests. So I'm not going to go into all of the columns. If you need more information about them to know how I made them, feel free to ask. So here's the actual pending request. The helper table for the declaration. That one is actually pretty special because as you can see, there's no row right now. How it's working is when a request is sent, it's gonna add a row with the email of the filler as row owner. So it means no one will be able to see that line. So if there is multiple person that needs to fill out a form, they won't be able to see the form of the others. So it's all row owners restricted. And then we have the actual submission table. Here's the options for the form. I have some aggregates. The configuration tables, one is for the constants. I have a system of test mode for emails. That means that I can put the email system into test mode. That's what I did to show you the example of all the emails. Here you can see the table of roles. These are only for visibility conditions. It's just for aesthetic. I'm also using row owners for all the data, so everything is safe. Here's the notification table with all the email I use in prod. As you can see, when it's test mode, it's going to use the email test. Here's all the notification that I can check for all the emails. So the system is going to check all the email that contain the right application to send to. Here's the mail template. And yeah, log table and then email replies that I'm going to show you. On the layout, as you can see here, I have a lot of things. Here's two collections that are used to force update the front-end data because there's conditions, wait for conditions in the workflow, and it needs to have a subscription to the actual data. So by adding a collection for those data, it's gonna be checking periodically if there's an updates. In the declaration, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. So it's all a form, as you can see, with a lot of sections. And there's a lot of AI component, as you can see, that aren't showing anything. And by the way, these are hidden with custom CSS. But what they do is actually automating some of my workflows. Like the first one is when it first enter into that page, when there is a line for that. Let me add one here. So it's gonna automatically set up that a current tab. There's also some of them that will clean automatically some field. So as you can see, if I'm putting stuff in here, go back, it's clearing the inputs to not have unwanted data. Some of them are just automatically formatting the data, like these one. When I check, I'm gonna go with an empty array. As you can see, it's now an empty array. Even if I add data, remove it, and then go back, it's gonna be an empty array. The verification, that's simple, only a collection. Same thing for archive and legal analysis. And here's the request status. In the workflows, it's a bit complicated, but as you can see, there's a scheduled workflow that just check if there's any submission to delete. The application needs to have a retention for all the submission, so it's just going to check if there's support, if there is submission to deletes. Right here, as you can see, the columns is doing all the calculation, the queries for all the data to delete. You can go back to there, and then it's gonna check with the lookups for all the declaration and delete all these rows. And then it's going to add log. I have another email triggered workflow here that's going to add a row in the email replies when it receives an email from the reply to. So that email is actually used for all the notifications. So it is the email that is in the constant table that is used for all the reply to in all email notification. I have a webhook here for the update users table. So when it receives just a post call, it's gonna check if there's user to create. If there is, it's gonna create it. Set the created user ID to the specific request ID. The specific request pending row. It's going to also add the helper row in the form helper table. Same thing here, but the opposite. If there is user to delete, like they haven't been deleted correctly or they need to be deleted since they submitted a form, it's going to check first of all the user existence, set the field state to the request, then it's going to delete the helper form, and it's going to delete the user, and of course add logs. If the user doesn't exist, it's because it passed into here, even if it's not checked. If it doesn't exist anymore, If it exists, sorry, it means that it has already been created, but that the user ID hasn't been set to the request. So it's gonna do it. Here's when the requester is submitting the request or the filler, going to set the unique ID. So I'm using unique ID all across the workflows. So it means that one request will have the same unique ID across all the different workflows. It was easier to do that because I was able to use that unique ID across the webhooks without having to do relation with the row ID for the appended request. So it's going to add the new request here, set the email body JSON, also with the pre-mailed templates from the mail template table. Here's gonna wait until the API has made his thing. No, sorry, that one is just to check if the insert new request is done, as completed. It's gonna wait 5 seconds for sync because it needs time for the backend to receive that data and then be able to use it in the actual update users. So here is the call API that will call the webhook here for updating users. Then it's gonna wait until the user has been created with that computed relation. So that's what I'm talking about earlier about adding the collections to force update the front end. That was for that condition. Then it's going to send a mail to the filler from the other webhook here. That is actually something I made to send email from SendGrid. So it's going to take the email from the configuration, the name from, get the from default. So it means if there is no custom email from and name form, I'm gonna take the default one, as you can see with the if and the if then else. And then there is the reply to email, name reply, same thing for the default. It's gonna check if the body has it, and then it's gonna check if there is not, it's gonna take the default one, else it's gonna take the customized one. Here's the email black hole for the to property because it needs an actual email to work even in SendGrid. So because I don't want anyone to know when it's sent or to who it's sent when there is no to, so I'm using an actual black hole. It's just the same as the from. Here it's managing all the CC email, the BBC, the subject, and the body HTML. I'm gonna take the prefix from the mail templates, the constant table, the suffix, and then it's gonna build the final body. Use that to build out the actual body that will be sent to the real SendGrid API, as you can see here, and it's gonna send them in. Going back here, it's gonna show a toast and play a sound and clear the temp form. Next step, it's the user. When the user fill out the form, when the employee fill out the form, it's gonna send back right here. It's gonna click. It's gonna call the webhook that I'm gonna show you here. So that one is a lot bigger. It has a lot of query JSON for the body of the webhook. So it's gonna do also some calculation, some computation. Down, it's gonna generate a unique DAJ numbers for the actual declaration number, and it's gonna check if there is any duplicated. If there is, it's just gonna append the unique ID to it, so it doesn't matter. It's just to make sure that I don't think there will be duplicated, but even if it happens, it won't be because of the appended unique ID. So someone can go back and rename it if you want to. Generate a PDF file name. It's gonna call the PDF. I'm not gonna show you the PDF monkey thing, but it's sending all the data to it. It's adding the new submission with all the information. It's getting the pending request, selecting it, and then it's going to fill the information as it's been filled on current dates. It's gonna take the configuration for the notification, all the mail templates, build the body, and also use the same send email from SendGrid here. I'm gonna check for the email too, do a listing of all the emails. So then gonna get the email for issues. So if there is issue with that one, because it's complicated because the email too is different depending on the category that the employee chose. So it means that if it chose as example professional, it's gonna be sent out to one HR, and if you select like support, it's gonna be sent out to another one. But in case of non-existent destination, it's going to use the email for issues. So then it's building the email body here and sending back to the SendGrids. Next step, we have the validation from SHR. So on submit, it's just going to set these 3 columns here. So it's changing the access of the row owner to lawyer. Then it's adding the verified date and the verified by email address. So it's calling again the another webhook. Where it is. There we go. So that one's going to get the declaration from the body provided number. I'm gonna check if there is if there is any declared criminal records. If there is, it's gonna get the subscribers, join all the emails from their subscribers. These subscribers come from the notification table here, as you can see. It's gonna build out. Same thing. Do the SendGrid thing, get the filler email, same thing, adding him. Then it's going to get the lawyer email, get the join list, prepare the body. So pretty simple. All of these is for the email section. Then it's gonna get the request and set the validation date for that specific request. Next step, it's the submission. Okay, so that one is pretty cool. If you remember earlier, there were an automatic rename of the file that the lawyer uploaded. So how it works, it's calling from the actual. Let me show you. Pretty cool. So right here, when they deposit a file, as you can see here, there is an actual AI auto rename file. So what it does, it's actually when the data is updated. So when the document column is updated, gonna call the actual workflow here that it's enabling a lock to prevent it from be running in a loop. It's gonna show just a notification for debug purpose that says okay, it's locked. It's gonna upload again the file, but with the new file name. So the new file name is generated from the actual column here, as you can see. So it's pretty simple. So it's going to rename the file and upload it again to have the new file, and then it's going to I lost it. It's gonna disable the lock and show a notification unlocked for debug purpose. And then when the lawyer submit the form, it's going to upload to SharePoint. So it's gonna call Power Automate workflow. I'm not gonna show you that below, but it's going to upload the files to SharePoint for archive, and then it's going to notify the HR that it has been completed. It's going to set the row owners again back to the SHR. Then it's going to close the overlay. So yeah, here missing something. That's the webhook that it's calling actually. So it's gonna check same thing if there is any declaration, of course for validation, and based on the category of the employee chose in the form, it's going to get the right SHR employee. So yeah, this is for the notification again, and if there is any confirmed criminal records, it's gonna send that back an email to the direction of the HR. Gonna get the unique declaration from the unique ID and set the deposit date here. So that's pretty much it. When the person is receiving an email and reply it to that email, all of these information will go back into a table called email replies. So you can see that when someone will be replied to that email, it's going to go in here. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any question, feel free to ask me in the comments, or you can email me at my email address. See you next time. Bye bye.